We were very afraid of competition in the first years because we were vulnerable in those days. We kept a very low profile here until 2006 actually. We didn't talk to newspapers. We didn't do anything really that could get us into the media because we were so afraid of competition coming up. We have one competitor in Denmark that came up in end of 2004. And well, they did a lot of marketing, but I think they kind of slowly gave up the idea simply because they didn't get, as mentioned before, a subscription model is very safe money. However, it takes a long time until you're with your subscribers you can get a reasonable turnover. And I think they just didn't get to the top of the hill where things were. So I think they're gradually taking away the focus of it. We don't really hear about them anymore. We have a few competitors we have a good competitor in Sweden, and we can see that they're copying some of the things that we are. But otherwise, we don't see a lot of competition in this field yet. We have quite an advantage of launching this in Denmark, because in Denmark we are very pro-internet, we are very pro-web banking. Web banking is actually the most similar product to our product. Because if I say to you, you tell me you are afraid of having your confidential data on the web, and I say to you, well, do you use a web bank? Of course I do. Then we can say to you, well, our system is exactly the same as a web bank. It's hosted the same place as they host your web bank. Then you have no argument for that. So traditionally in Denmark and also in the Scandinavian countries, we are ahead technology-wise, which means that people are early adapters here generally, and that's why we could launch it relatively quick here. About the window of opportunity, everybody tells us that. And we have a bit of this feeling, yes, but we don't want that. There are different factors in it. There's a factor of capital. Every growth company needs capital. So do we. We have a pretty unique situation that the turnover in Denmark is actually funding the startup in these three new countries, Norway, Sweden and UK. And we can say just with the earning in Denmark and the increase of that, we have had a double of the turnover for the past, 3 years. We can actually launch in 3 new countries per year. And we think that's enough seen from a growth perspective with our eyes. Our biggest challenge right now is basically the organization, which all companies in our stage, or nearly all I reckon, will meet, because we have a very flat organization of 25 people. We are now in the phase of putting in the layer of managers in the company, and that takes quite some time. Yeah, that's right. But we have dealt with that because the way we have built up the company is we have made an E-conomic international. That company owns basically the system, the IP, the programming department. All the programmers are employed in that department. Then we have made AS, like independent subsidiaries in each company. They account for sales and service, which means that the selling process goes on in Norway, and the service, whenever customers are calling in, they're speaking to the Norwegian office. So they are having their own independent sales and service organization. And we have found out this is a great way to do the scaling, because it means that headquarters is never going to be one of these big lumps. We have, of course, some back office if they need some further help. But all development takes place here in Denmark at the headquarter in E-conomic International. And basically what they're doing in the subsidiaries, that's sales and service.